Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is we're literally going to reverse our process. So far what I've been doing is giving you an equation and you've been graphing it. But what's different about this situation is I'm going to give you information and then you actually have to find the equation. So we're literally working in reverse. So I've already given you the picture, I've already given you the data, I'm telling you the data. So we don't have to go find it, we just have to find the equation that fits the information that's given. So since we're learning about the slope-intercept form, it turns out that the slope-intercept form is going to help us do this. And it's pretty easy once you get the hang of it. Because to use this form, just like we did for graphing, if I can find the m, and if I can find the y-intercept, right, if I know how my direction is, my slope, and if I know my y-intercept, my point, all I literally have to do is plug that information in, just like we normally do with any formula. We find out what something is, we plug it in, and we're finished. So that's how this is going to work. So the first one, we got to find the line with a slope equal to 4/3 and a y-intercept is 0, -2. So they've already told me what m is, and right here is our point 0b. So I actually know what b is. So I go to my equation, right, there's our linear equation, y equals mx plus b, and I literally substitute what I know, right? M is 4/3 and b is -2. When we add a negative, that's the same thing as subtraction. So it's probably going to be the answer you see in the back of the book. All right? And so there you go. So we have our equation of our line given that information. Getting a little more challenging in number 2, I already have a picture, right? And so we have to find the line that basically represents the graph below. So these are all solution points to some equation. All right, so what equation is that? Well, again, let's just assume it fits some y equals mx plus b, and I got to find the m, and I got to find the b. Right? Of course, the b is my y-intercept. So when we look at this graph, there's the y-intercept. So it looks like it's occurring at 0, 3. So we now know our b. Right? Now to find the slope, we can probably just visually count. As I move from point to point, it looks like I'm going down -1 and to the right 2. So my slope is -1/2. Rise, in this case fall, over run. So there's my slope. So now I just take that information and I literally substitute it in, and there's your equation of the line. So again, let's keep remembering what a graph is, right? So all the points along this line, they will solve this equation that we have represented here. So they are solution points. So I can plug any one of these points in, and it'll make the equation true. So we found the equation of the line given some data. All right, and then last but not least, getting a little tougher, right? We're trying to find the line that is represented by the table below. All right, and so again, since we're talking about a line, let's go ahead and try to fit our y equals mx plus b. Right? So we're looking for slope and we're looking for a y-intercept. Well, luckily, right, that point right there, right, is my 0b, my y-intercept. So we now know that b is equal to -1. Right? So we've got half the thing solved. Now we just got to find our m. And so to find our m, we look at how x seems to be changing. Right? So it seems like x is essentially going up by 1 each time. Right? So x, the change in x, is +1. And if we look at the y values, we go from 7 to 3, then 3 to -1, 1 to -5. It looks like the change in y is -4. All right, and so my slope, being change in y over change in x, is a -4/1, which is a -4. Of course, if you don't like that, if you want to use the slope formula, you can. How about I just use these 2 points? There's my x1 and my y1, and my x2 and my y2. So if you really want to be official about it and put your things in there, right? Y2 is 3, y1 is 7, right? x2 is -1, and x1 is -2. 3 take away 7 is -4. -1 take away a -2 is -1 plus 2, and there's my -4/1, all right? Or what we know to be -4. So there is our slope. So we have our slope, we have our b. All we have to do is plug that information into the formula. So replace m with -4, that's the direction. My b is -1. When I add a negative, right, that's the same thing as subtraction. So I'm pretty sure that'll be the answer in my math lab or in the book. So that is pretty much how we find the equation of a line. Let's take advantage. This is a slope-intercept form is a very easy form to graph. So just as likely, it's a very easy form to help us find the equation of a line. All we need to do is find the slope and the y-intercept. So we're either given it, I can see it and find the slope, or I can identify the y-intercept and find my slope in a lot of different ways. So that's basically that. So let's go take a look at some more difficult situations where you have to find some equations of lines where we add in the concept of parallel and perpendicular. See you guys in the next video.